we're a pretty small organization, but we're out there fighting for our rights and fighting for the man upstairs, Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Rusty. This next gentleman goes without an introduction from me. I just met him for the first time tonight. You had to forgive. We're here, sir.
Woo, Brian!
I didn't know I was going to come up here and say anything, so I didn't put my pretty headband on. So I didn't brush my hair. I'll say something. I'm definitely not a political speaker or a professional speaker, but something that happens to me just about every meeting or thing like this is I ended up sitting in an area where other people are talking constantly, so I don't get to hear the speaker quite often. And that happened tonight. I sat down over there and some other men sat and talked right in front of me the whole time I was trying to listen. I don't remember that very much good either, the mic. Is that better? I said the other night I was a full-fledged alcoholic at 14. At 25, I finally was able to get help and quit drinking. And so I haven't drank for over 50 years now. Sometimes I think the alcohol didn't interest me. I was so hooked on the alcohol. I tried marijuana and preferred the alcohol. But anyway, I had a pretty healthy life. At 13 years old, I met what turned out to be my best friend and spent a lot of time at his house. And he had a 10-year-old sister that we became friends and did things and stuff, played together as little kids. And that 10-year-old sister of his turned out to be my wife. And we've been married 59 years now. I talked to my daughter yesterday. My wife lives in a home. She has dementia, and she lives in a home for those people. And she hasn't really recognized me or even known my name for about 2.5 years now or so. And my daughter told me yesterday that she brought her iPod out to her mother, to my wife, and showed her me talking on one of the platforms the other night. And she said that my wife pointed her finger at me and said, Bryant. And that's had me thinking today about maybe going home, but I need to check with her because I also know that that doesn't mean it's going to be the same 5 minutes later. But I am considering going home, and so I'd like to tell everybody who has told me or encouraging them, thank you very much in case anymore. I love in each and every one of you. I had last year at 78 years old, I was still working full time and loved doing it. For April, my truck broke down. I had to put it in the shop about 5 weeks before they could get the parts in. During that time, I went home. For a couple years before that, I knew that I was slowing down, but I just felt like that's what happened. But the 5 weeks that I was waiting for my truck, I kept getting worse and worse. And finally one day I had, one night I fell down in the bathroom and I laid on the floor for 10 hours before I was able to get up. And then that day I fell twice more. My daughter came over that night. She called 911. And they brought me to the hospital, and I was there 12 days doing all kinds of testing on my heart. And they said they found there was 3 things wrong with my heart, and they would have to do 3 surgeries. They convinced me and my daughter, our whole family has always been against the vaccine, like most of you people. They convinced me and my daughter that it'd be good for me to get the vaccine, and we thought it might be because we knew I'd be in and out of the hospital a lot. So I got the 2 vaccine shots. Neither one of them really made me sick or caused any action. But then they found that there was a major problem with my lung, and they wouldn't be able to do the surgeries on my heart. And they ended up sending me home quite a bit worse than what I went in. I wasn't satisfied with the medical community and what they had been trying to do. I went on to hospice, and they ended up having to do just to my house. 2 children, both of them are old folks now, so they've been fantastic watching for me. And during this time, I got to a point where I wanted to die, and that was pretty much all I could think of most of the time, was just wanting to die. Every night when I'd fall asleep, I'd say, God, I don't want to wake up in the morning. I want to be dead tomorrow. When people want to pray for me or talk about me getting better, I said, no, I don't want to. And I would tell people that there's only one thing, one reason that I would want to live, and that was get up into my truck and drive around the country. And here I am. That happened. On Christmas Day last year, I had been feeling somewhat better for a few days to ride up to Branson, Missouri, and see a show that I used up there. And the following day we went to the show, and I was feeling fine. I was walking good. I got into the show, and the usher helped me to get to my seat, and I turned around and I told my daughter I felt like, and immediately she said, no hesitation at all, I went down, and she said she knew right away that I was dead. And she got me into the seat and couldn't find any heartbeat or anything, and looked around for help, and we were pretty early so that I could get to a seat good. And finally somebody called 911 and they brought me outside on a stretcher and decided to try this heart thing they do. They did it, I don't know how many times, but what they would normally do to a person, and it didn't work. And as they were starting to remove the equipment from me, one of them said, I think we should do it one more time. And that time they brought me to the hospital, and I guess it was a couple hours. I died again. And the same thing happened. They gave up on reviving me and then decided to try it one more time, and it worked. When I came out of it and the doctor came to talk to me, I let him know with no uncertain terms that I was pretty mad. I had been wanting to die, and I did die, and they brought me back. That we had 2 options, and it would be my choice, that he could check me back into the hospital and I'd have to go through all that heart exam stuff again, or he could release me to go home. And in either case, he was sure I'd be dead within 3 days. And so I went home and kind of looking forward to the 3 days going by and me dying. And my son hooked up my TV to watch do or anything. And I ended up watching People's Convoy on YouTube's, and that was the only thing I watched 24/7 from then on. And I gradually started feeling better and improving. And eventually one day, the supervisor that was seeing me in hospice came over to the house and said, "Brian, if you're not going to die, we're going to have to release you." And she said, "You've got my phone number. If you change your mind and want to try again, give me a call." And that was on good terms. We were friends. So anyway, I just gradually kept being encouraged watching the People's Convoy. And I happened to be able to catch them on the first day in Adelanto, California. And seeing all the overpasses and seeing all the groups in the convoy, the people, it gave me encouragement. I got to the point where I realized there were a lot of good people out here. I had never been one that wanted more than a couple at a time, but I started thinking about people and seeing all the different nationalities and religions and beliefs. Everybody just joining together and getting along and caring about each other and loving each other, doing things for each other. And then people from other states bringing food down and cooking meals for them and visiting with them. And that gave me encouragement. I started feeling better and better. And one night, I had really gotten to where I felt like I wanted to drive. My children weren't wanting me to drive all this time last year, and I kind of went on. Like one night here, it was right here, I guess, announced that they were going to go back out to California. And I told my kids, I said, "Boy, I would love to be able to do that." And a day or two later, he talked to said they helped with fuel. And I had already seen that provide most food, and I told the kids, "Go fix my truck up to travel because I'm going to California with them." What I told them, LA and Sacramento, and then travel back to Washington with them. Where my thoughts kind of ended. I had no future plans. I hoped that it would continue going on and I could continue being a part of it. So the last few days I've really been wondering what I should do. I'm hoping that maybe tonight we'll get some information about the future or what the plans are in Washington. But I feel as though I've made my commitment by being here, my commitment to myself. And so right now I'm really a little bit uncertain. I would like to stay and continue on. I hope that they continue to travel, maybe to the different states and help with rallies and programs and stuff, but that'll be seen. For my wife, I'd love to go see her, but at the same time, I feel like anything that happens with her is a 1 or 2 minute deal. She may have recognized me a couple days ago, but by now wouldn't know who I was. So there's really not a lot of sense in going back if I can stay here. My whole life has changed from someone who didn't care about people to someone now loves people. I thought that going from home to Texas to join the convoy was probably the one more thing that God had for me to do, and be another truck and another driver, and I just thought that would be it, because I wasn't used to people and everything. And I shared my little bit of my life history with the driver that first night there, and the next day, next afternoon, people were coming up and asking me questions and about hospice, being with hospice and dying and stuff. And I said, what in the world's going on? And they said that you've been made the main subject on the CB just about all day. And now just about all of the streamers that travel with us tell me about every day that their people are asking how I am and where I am and what I'm doing. And every time we stop somewhere and I get out of the truck, there's people coming to visit, influenced them. And I finally came to the position that, yes, God is using me, and it's something bigger than I could have done by myself. That together, God and I have a story to share. And I pray and I hope that I can continue on doing that. But that, like I say, remains to be seen right now. And I thank you very much for your time.
I got to tell you, Brian, I saw you out there in California. One of my minutes is, one of my memories is watching you guys drive out there in California. I'm glad to have you back in Maryland, sir. Look forward to seeing you down on the streets of DC. My next speaker, it's not mine, it's you all's. It's the People's Convoy. He goes without anything that I could ever say that you guys don't already know.
It's G Nation.
How you doing, guys? Oh, heck, you can do better than that, can't you? I tell you what, it's good to be here in my second home, Hagerstown, Maryland. I've kind of adopted you guys. You guys kind of adopted me. At least I hope so. Maybe not after what I say. Y'all know me. I'm pretty blunt, and I just tell it like it is, according to me. And, you know, when we started off in California, I had a gentleman come up to me and tell me, gee, you know what you guys really need is you guys need a slogan. You know, that's what all these good politicians have. They have a slogan. I don't think we need a slogan. I don't think we need it. What we need is people that serve the people. Forget the politicians. I'm tired of politicians. That's the problem in this country, is they work for themselves and not for us. And I'm tired of it. I don't know about you. Yeah, there's another slogan right there. They work for us. How about they do their damn job? Excuse my language, it's just the way it is. You know, we got here, and I'm looking around. There should be hundreds of thousands of trucks in here. Truck driver out there has got a gripe. They want to gripe about fuel prices. Look at the way the fuel prices are right now. They're trying to drive us out of business. They're trying to drive us out of business.
Yep.
And there ain't that many people here. I mean, look, we got a crowd here, yeah. But this should be the whole state. The whole state of Maryland should be here. The whole country should be here. We should all be outraged. At least that's the way I see it. Like I said, I'm just blunt and I tell it like it is, according to me. You know, when we were here last time, we had quite a few trucks. Not enough, but quite a few trucks. Them trucks went around the circle, and, you know, and when we left here, I don't know if you all see the news article, but old Joe Biden had 2 trucks sitting at the White House, but he wouldn't let us come into Washington, D.C. Wouldn't let the actual truckers come into Washington, D.C. Do you know what 2 trucks he had there? It was the ATA's trucks. And I don't know if all you guys know who the ATA is. It's American Trucking Association. They do not represent the truck drivers.
Nope.
They represent the mega fleets.
Yep.
The mega fleets, the corporations, they're lobbyists. That's what they are. You know, back in 2020, a group of truck drivers went down there, 150 or so truck drivers that spent 21 days right there in Constitution Avenue. Mr. Trump is up there telling his speech, and trucks are blowing their horns, just dying for a word with the man. He sent his flunkies out there and gave them chocolates, gave them hats, placated them. And while he was telling his speech, he said, "Oh, you hear them horns out there? Truckers love me." No, they wanted to talk to you. I'm tired of the left. I'm tired of the right. I'm tired of politicians. It's about time we stood together as Americans, because they're placating us all, and we're just standing there watching it happen. You know, we do have good servants to the people out there that's working in politics. I don't like to call them politicians. I'll bring Mike Moon, for instance. He wrote a bill about autonomous trucks. Yeah, they're fixing to put autonomous trucks out here on the road. They're already on the roads with you guys. I'm sure you've seen some of the articles. And they're not ready to be out here on the roads with you guys. They're not ready to be on the roads with your children. They're dangerous. As long as he wrote a bill saying that there has to be a person in that truck as a fail-safe. A human being. Well, they come up with a fail-safe, all right. Their fail-safe was the truck's just going to pull over to the side of the road by itself if a sensor goes out. Well, what if the sensor goes out saying that it needs to pull off to the side of the road? Well, I'm sure they'll be working on that now that they heard that excuse. But they're allowing this stuff to happen. Why? Because it's big money. The FMCSA, the head of the FMCSA at the time, guess where he works? For one of those autonomous trucking companies. You know, I said when I first started this, I wasn't going to talk about trucking issues because this isn't a trucking issue here. This is the American people. But without trucks, the American people starve. You know, I heard back in 2020 when all this started that we love our truckers. You guys love your truckers?
Yep.
Yeah, I keep hearing that. Well, do you know how many truckers were ready to turn the keys down, turn the key to the left during the pandemic? Not one of them, because they knew the shelves were bare. They knew there wasn't no toilet paper on the shelves. And people love the truck drivers, but guess what? It was costing them money to haul the loads, to put that toilet paper on the shelves. And that's why they were down on Constitution Avenue, because they were asking for help, because they were trying to help all you guys. They were tired of being, I'm trying to look for a better word than just, well, I'm tired of being screwed. Excuse me. I'm sorry, kids. You know, when we need our politicians, we should be able to go to them with a concern. You know, all of us just want to go to work. We just want to be able to feed our families. That's all we want. We want to live a good life. We don't want to have to deal with politics. I don't want to have to deal with politics. I don't want to be here right now. Do you? No. Like I said, when I come up here, more than likely it wasn't going to be popular. But I don't care about popularity. I'm tired of lip service from politicians. Tired of it. How about you guys?
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder how many the rest of the Americans are tired of it. They're not here.
They're too busy on their keyboards.
Yeah, you're probably right. I just don't know what to say. I mean, I don't have the words. Like I said, I'm not a speaker. I'm not a great speaker. You know, these guys get up here, and I don't mean to hear, but the guys get up on stage or in front of cameras and stuff, and they could come up with that great slogan. And they got people all hyped up, and the crowd's all yelling and screaming. It's a sugar high, is what it is. It gets you all hyped up. I want meat and potatoes, is what I want. I want you to say what you mean and mean what you say. I don't want to just hear words, shake my hand and kiss my babies. Do what you say.
Represent us.
Represent us.
That's right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You know, I don't hear a lot of clapping because I'm sure a lot of you guys are thinking, you know what? Who the heck is this guy? I'm a fed up American is who I am. I'm not an educated man. So I'm not going to pretend like I know exactly everything that goes down there in D.C. But what I do know is when I'm being hustled, and we're all being hustled. We have been for decades. You can't hustle a hustler. I've seen it all.
It's been a full century.
Tired of the little people getting. I'll just say it. I'll just say it. You know, like I was talking about Mike Moon, I kind of got sidetracked. He wrote that bill, right? You want to know what happened to that bill? That bill got thrown on the floor. Nobody wanted to hear that bill. Why? Because it didn't mean money in their pockets. That's why they didn't want to hear the bill. And I'm not trying to get Mike in trouble, but I'm going to tell you what he told me. He said, "G, ain't nobody going to listen to that bill until their family is killed by one of them trucks." Doesn't matter whether one of our families killed by one of them trucks. It's when their family is killed by that truck is when they're going to finally listen. Because there's big money in it. You know, Mike Moon is a Republican. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Who knows? He's being ousted. Why? Because he wore bib overalls to a meeting. He had a jacket on and a tie. That's all the rules said is he had to have a jacket and a tie. But the man wore bib overalls, and now the party don't want to back him. Is that right? No, it's not right. Suit don't make a person. Tie don't make a person. Their heart. That's what makes a person. Doing what you say and saying what you mean makes the person.
Is it still recording?
Just my two thoughts. And honey, will you bring that up? I promised everybody I'm going to say that poem from now till the day I die. And I'd just like to read it to you. It's called The Visitor from the Past by Thelen Polk. I didn't know who the author was when I first read it, but I've done found out, so I'd like to give her credit. The other night, I didn't understand. A figure walking through the mist with a flintlock in his hand. His clothes were torn and dirty as he stood there by my bed. He took off his three-cornered hat and speaking low, to secure our liberty. We wrote the Constitution as a shield from tyranny. For future generations, this legacy we gave. In this, the land of the free and home of the brave. The freedom we secured for you, we hope you'd always keep. But tyrants labored endlessly while your parents were asleep. Your freedom gone, your courage lost, you're no more than a slave. In this, the land of the free and home of the brave. You buy permits to travel and permits to own a gun, permits to start a business or to build a place for one. On land you believe you own, you pay a yearly rent, although you have no voice in choosing how the money's spent. Your children must attend a school that doesn't educate. Your Christian values can't be taught according to the state. You read the news in a regulated press. You pay a tax you do not owe to please the IRS. Your money is no longer made of silver or of gold. You trade your wealth for paper so your life can be controlled. You pay for crimes that make our nation turn from God in shame. You've taken Satan's number as you've traded in your name. You've given government control to those who do you harm so they could padlock churches and steal the family farm. And keep your country deep in debt, put men of God countrymen while corrupted courts prevail. Your public servants don't uphold the solemn oath so their children won't be born. Your leaders ship artillery and guns to foreign shores and send your sons to slaughter, fighting other people's wars. Can you regain the freedom for which we fought and died? Or don't you have the courage or the faith to stand with pride? For which you will fight to save? Or do you wish your children to live in fear and to be a slave? People of the Republic, arise and take a stand. Defend the Constitution, the supreme law of the land. Preserve our great Republic and God-given right, and pray to God to keep the torch. As I awoke, he vanished in the mist of whence he came. His words were true. We are not free. We have ourselves to blame. For even now as tyrants trample each God-given right, we only watch and tremble, too afraid to stand and fight. If he stood by your bedside in a dream while you were asleep and wonders what remains of our rights he fought to keep, what would be your answer if he called out from the grave, "Is this still the land of the free and home of the brave?" You know, because it says exactly why I'm here. It says exactly why I'm here. I'm looking at these children out here, all these children out here, and that's why I'm here. That's why we all should be here. Looking at a lot of the older folks here, and I know they're not here for themselves. We've done served our time. We ain't the big picture, big scheme of things. It's these kids. What kind of country are we leaving for them? And it's our fault that we're not leaving them a better country, because we won't stand. Because we won't stand. It's going to take a whole lot more than this to stand up. It's going to take a whole lot more than the state of Maryland to stand up. It needs to happen from coast to coast. It needs to happen from coast to coast. And that's what's wrong with this country. Everybody's so worried about themselves. Until it actually hits home is when you want to stand up, and then it's too late. Who's it too late for? Me? No, it's not too late for me. It probably ain't going to affect me in the next 10, 15, 20 years. It's going to affect their children. We're not going to have a country left to give them. We have so many veterans out here that fought and died. What did they fought and die for? Not what they're getting. Not what we see now. I guarantee it. I spoke to a World War II veteran. This isn't what I fought for. I fought for the people. I fought for freedom, not for politicians. And that's what's happening. And it's been happening for a long time. And I, for one, I'm tired of it. But I can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. This world needs to stand up. Like I said, this whole place should be filled with trucks. But they want to gripe about fuel prices. Well, guess what? I'm griping about fuel prices too. But is fuel prices our problem? No, it's our elected officials that could do something about the fuel prices. You know, I seen the president come up on stage and started talking about an embargo go up $2 a gallon. Just talking about it. These guys know just saying it is going to bring up fuel prices. And that's what they did. They brought up fuel prices by saying it. No, it's the People's Convoy that brought it up. You guys are out there wasting gas. Look at the trucks. Look at the trucks. I won't even lie to you. These 15 trucks out here didn't do it. The 100 trucks that were here before didn't do it. It's them opening their mouths, knowing that they're going to make more money by opening their mouths. And it's not right. They already knew that we were going to have a problem with fuel, didn't they? They already knew that there was a war happening in Ukraine. They already knew Russia was involved. They already knew we were going to start lines and start producing ourselves before he even opened his mouth, because they don't care about us. And I'm tired of it. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Like I said, I'm just a Dumbo hillbilly from the Ozarks. Anybody want to correct me? Crickets. No, you're amazing, sweetheart.
It doesn't need any correction.
What's your question? I didn't know this was a Q&A. I like those, though.
Well, I'm asking you. When we left from here, we broke away from having any political flags, and I've noticed we're starting to pick up again having political speakers at the events. I want to know how many of them are here for a photo op, or how many of them are going to join us when we go to D.C.
You want to know how many people, all the political people are going to join us? Up to them.
All right, are just here for the photo op.
I guess that'd be a question for them, but I like that question because we've seen Ted Cruz do the same thing now, didn't we?
coming up here speaking, and when it comes down to business, everybody just walks away.
Heck, we've seen that with how many Americans? Let's not even get into the politicians. How many Americans we see all the way back to California and then back this way? Well, how many trucks you got? I want to know how many trucks you got before I join in. I seen it with truck drivers. I heard one truck driver tell me, "Gee, I ain't going to get involved. Let me see how California kicks off before we do it."
Those Americans ain't up here speaking. This politicians.
Oh, I didn't set up the rally. That's none of my business. You want to know what's great about this country?
Freedom of speech.
Freedom. Freedom. I don't speak for others. I speak for myself. That's why when I came up here today, I said, I speak from my heart. I don't speak from your heart. I got to know a lot of these people out here, and they've become family to me. They've become family. What I'd like to see is the country to become a family, is what I'd like to see. Say what you mean what you say. Stand up or get out the way. One of the two.
Lead, follower.
I wouldn't expect that Q&A. Thanks a lot, Joe.
Anytime, brother. Love you.
Love you too, man.
Love you, Trucker G.
I love you guys. And that's why I'm here, because I love you guys that much. And I don't mean just you guys. I mean all of you. All of you. I don't know how much longer I have. And it doesn't matter to me how much longer I have. It matters to me how much longer they have. These children. My grandchildren, your grandchildren. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Trucker G. I do want to tell you, Jonathan Jenkins, who was up here earlier, had asked me about going down to D.C. What do you think? You going, brother?
Only if I can take my kids, let them enjoy it too.
There we go.
No, seriously.
He wants to take his kids. How about that? This next gentleman that's coming up on the stage, he and I got to meet each other here on the ground at the Hagerstown Speedway. He asked me what I was going to do when I faced over regulation. I'm here to tell you, I don't know. So, I'm going to give you the microphone. Love you, brother. My tanker yanker friend, Sugar Sugar. Sugar Sugar. Thank you, Jeremiah. Yeah, I'm a tanker yanker. I haul sugar. Hagerstown, Maryland. How are you tonight? Where can I find somebody young that can hold the mic for about 35 minutes?
Oh, yeah, right.
Y'all ready to sit down? Y'all ready to go home? Wow. Santa, did you hear that? Get done. They're not ready to go home. Hour and a half? Okay. You want to hold the mic? No, I'm just kidding. Don't let this, I don't want you to get scared because of the green folder, but I'm going to open it up. I got a lot to say, and I don't know. I was just going to keep it short tonight, but I do want to say thanks to there's a lot of people working behind the scenes, and it's empty. But I did write this down. Kim, where's Kim at? From Delaware. She's a Delaware State lead. Kim? Hi, Kim. Well, she's here somewhere. Kim and Jeremiah and Deb. Jeremiah and Deb are from Maryland. They're Maryland State leads. Y'all know Jeremiah, Deb. I don't know where she's at. He's pointing. Hi, Deb. There she is, sitting down. Thank you guys for putting this together. Stepping up and being a state lead in Maryland and Delaware, that is a task, that is a job that should pay well, and it should pay more than you're getting paid. Thank you. I also want to say thanks to the new discovered couple on the internet, Scott and Chris, right at the end of the trailer here. I'd like for them to come up, but they won't. But I'd like for them to come up, and I'd like for Chris to talk, and Scott.
Oh man, you hear that? Those two have worked tirelessly behind the scenes. They were also here the last time we were here, but they are co-leaders, co-organizers, and you don't hear much about them, but like I said in one of the rallies, somebody made a discovery that they think there's a connection between Scott and Chris. They have grandchildren. There is a connection, but thank you, Scott and Chris. Scott had open heart surgery. I don't know when that was, but 3 days later, he drove down here in his truck. They brought the truck down here to Hagerstown 3 days after having open heart surgery. Triple bypass, quadruple bypass, something. And they were here to help. So thank you for doing what you're doing. And I also want to thank Hagerstown Speedway, the track here, for having us back. There were other places that we were looking at, and here we are. So thank you, Hagerstown Speedway. Thank you. I don't want to forget to say, because it'll probably be a one more thing, that red truck is the dumpster. That all trash goes in this red truck right here. Just FYI, everybody's trash goes in the red truck. Yeah, where Trench is pointing to. Boy, G, you really did it tonight. My time is expired. I mean, wow. He was on a roll. I was like, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. He wasn't going to talk about trucker stuff. Don't get me started on trucker stuff. You don't want to hear it. And you don't want to hear me talk about the ATA, the FMCSA, the DOT, whatever else. Because I won't stop. Remember, I went to D.C. I've walked the halls both on the House and the Senate side, knocked on doors, had meetings. I've even met with the ATA. I don't know why, but I did. They're not our friends. They want to say it's about safety, and it's not. FMCSA, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, wants to say it's about safety, and it's not. It's all about money for them. DC is evil. DC is to tie in the truckers with the American. You all die unless you know how to live off the land.
That's right. Exactly.
So it is important. Safety is a big thing. We should all be concerned about that. The ATA only represents about 17% of the trucking industry. They claim they represent the entire trucking industry. They don't. But they have money because their members are heavily mega carriers, like, I won't name their names, with bad safety scores. They're not our friends. Not at all. But they have money, and every time we go to DC and protest anything with trucks, the trucking industry, guess who is up at the Rose Garden a day or two later saying how good the trucking industry is and has a truck there, and, you know. And the people that belongs. Stand up, we have to fight. Man, gee, you just did such a good. Somebody said, well, there's been quite a few people say, you can't go to DC. You know that you're a Bones DC. Can't go to DC. Well, if we don't own, if Europe or whoever owns DC, back, right? About a month and a half ago, We were just thinking about this. We asked the question almost this very spot. If you to California, or if you want to stay here. And you all know what happened. We're back. That was a cold night, I think. I think a lot of you guys, I don't. Just thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the convoy. And I want to say thanks to all the people at home that are watching that couldn't join or anything like that for whatever reason, health conditions. Thank you for doing your part. They're very active in their states, many of them are. But driving across the states, talking to the people, I'd like to ask them, are they involved in their state? Are they involved somehow at a political level or at a local level in their school districts? Like, I think her name was April mentioned, God bless you wherever she's at. Thank you for doing that and becoming involved in your school district. That's what we need. We need people, good people, to get involved in the school districts. They need to be taught well. Those three letters are. That's not teaching. People, are they involved in their states? Are they involved in anything politically were, but there was also those that weren't. Many people said, we are here because of you. They got involved because of Ottawa, or it's made them want to get involved somehow in their state and local levels. I can't tell you people how important it is to get involved, because there's power in you. You all to fight together. And when the people in the states come together, that's power. Go to D.C., there's power in D.C. They don't want that. They're scared of that. We might be small. We can grow in a moment's notice, and they know that. That's why I really can't stress enough, get involved any way you can. If you have questions, reach out to us. We might be able to help you in any way we can. We'll give you ideas, suggestions, put something together, put a rally together, put put up flyers around your town, you post it on your storefronts in your city. Get the word out. People will come. You'd be surprised how many people are just like you. And they just want somebody to take that first step. They want somebody just to, because we're all hungry for the truth. We all want somebody to step up. Somebody do something. And let that be you. You all have the power. Together, we got this. Jeremiah?
Thank you, Tanker Yanker. All right, this next guy, I hope one of y'all bring a catcher's mitt for me, because he's going to say, and that microphone, I'm going to have to run up here and catch it, because they tell me it's expensive. I don't know why they gave it to me. Oh, all right, brother. Thank you. Love you, brother.
Love you too.
God bless.
Well,
We love you, Santa.
it's good to be back in Hagerstown.
Santa.
Some people Here we are. I said, I'm coming back if I have to come back by myself. I love you all. Y'all are awesome. You treated us so good. It's good to see everybody here tonight. Shook hands with a lot of folks I hadn't seen in quite a while. Good to see you back. In a Christian home, I had the best. And my daddy was our pastor. And I grew up on an old story, and I was sitting over there praying, God, what do you want me to say tonight? Y'all don't need to hear from me. You need to hear from him. And I was sitting over there, and I just got a thought. Raised on an old story that many of you may know, there's this little boy, he's out watching his father's sheep. Teenage boy. His name was David. They just thought he just the Jesse's boy, you know. Nobody knew what kind of heart beat inside of that young man. He came out one day, tried to take his father's sheep, and something rose up in him, and he said, that's my daddy's sheep. He killed it. A lion came out and tried to steal one of the sheep. He said, he killed it. See, that's just a story. Santa, that's just a story. No, that really happened. Because with my God, all things are possible. I'm looking at it from heaven's point of view. So one day his daddy gave him some cheese and some meat and some bread and sent him down to the front of the battle. This great Philistine army had came up against the children of Israel, trying to overthrow their government, take them into slavery. And here comes this little boy. Everybody thought, there goes a little boy. Some meat. That's all. Oh, he had more than that. Heart that had already been in battle that nobody else had seen. And he was taking it up to the front. Some of you already know where I'm going with this, don't you? Yep. He walks out there, and there's this big giant. I mean a giant. Some folks say he's about 9.5 feet tall. He's roaring like a bear. Looks like a lion. He's defying David's God. He's defying David's kingdom. Defying all these guys he had looked up to all of his life. Slandering them. Something began to rise up in that little boy. He said, the Bible says in 1 Samuel 17, verse 26, and David spoke to the men that stood by him, saying, get this, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine? He's just a little boy, probably like these young boys, maybe a little older. He's talking about killing somebody. All the stuff is going to be done. Well, Eliab, his oldest brother, he heard what David was talking about, and he pulls him off to the side, and he begins to rebuke him. You need to shut your mouth. You need to go back home. Y'all get where I'm coming from? Yeah. How many of you drivers out there that are with us tonight? How many of you convoyers out there tonight? Some of you need to go back to your job. But I like what David says. He said, what have I now done? What have I done, guys? A cause? Is there not a cause? Am I out here just running out fuel? Am I out here just wasting my time? Is there not a cause here? If there's not a cause, then I'd go home. But I clearly, men and women of valor and all, they're running not. Yes, they are. They'd like to padlock every church in America. You know why? Because the church is what's keeping America afloat. And they know that. And they want to destroy the houses of. They're coming into our educational systems and teaching our children all kinds of professions. There is a cause. That's why I stand on the back of this trailer tonight. I'm not here just to waste my time. I'm not here just to waste my money. I'm not here just to drive my truck around. I'm here because I see a. That's why I'm here. There is a cause. The rest of the world, everybody else in that army of the Israelites, we can't take on that behemoth of a man out there. He's a champion. You know what a champion is? That's somebody that has never lost in battle. If you Goliath had never been defeated. Every challenger that came to him, he left them gurgling in their own blood. And now the government of this world, so many people so afraid of them because they look like this big behemoth, this giant that cannot be overcome. Just today on the CB radio, another drone. Really? There's nothing I can do? Let me tell you about my God. I'm just a little old dude standing here with a little water pistol. But I know behind me is an almighty God pointed right directly at those who would take our freedoms from us. And I will back you. I'm stepping out here tonight, not as just an individual, not as just one man, but I'm stepping out here. That where evil is, I must stand against it. Is there no cause? Don't you see the cause? How can you not see the cause? Are you so blind that you don't see what is going on? We need some men of valor. We need some men to stand up and say we're no longer afraid of. David was of Goliath. The Bible said he walked down to the stream and he picks up 5 smooth stones. He only had one enemy, one Goliath. That's all he had. But Jewish historians tell us, get this, that Goliath had 4. He said, I'm not just coming after one of them. 5 of them. Is there not a cause? Do you not see that your liberties are being stripped from you? Can you still sit at home, go to work tomorrow just like it's any other day? Can you get up in the morning, kiss your wife goodbye, go out and earn that meager living, and then come back home and worry how you're going to pay the bills because the government is taking your money and wasting it on countries that hate you? Is there not a cause? To get in your vehicle, turn the key, and head to Hagerstown and join with it. Do you not see this cause? The corruption, the filth, the disgusting lifestyles. A few miles up the road, is that not a cause to stand up and say, we are tired of your nonsense. We are tired of you're treating everybody in this country. We are coming back. You know, politicians were really, yeah. I did. I thought, man, they are. I'm just an old hillbilly, you know. I used to think they were.
What now?
Firmly convinced most of them would drown in my most shallow thought.
It still is, I think.
Does it work?
It works. Listen, y'all, we got one more person to bring up here. If you haven't realized this, by little things moving around, that's my opinion. My good book says it. Okay? There weren't created this, that created you and every one of you. If you don't, as a worthy cause like what was just said, I'm sorry about your future, because I'm here to fight for your future. Every one of you guys out here tonight, dreams, every one of you need to get up and get here like I am. There's so much going on down in that city right now. Absolute insanity. Them get it. God created us, and we need to continue to be here for our children and in the womb. And to our next speaker.
All right, I'm going to get serious now.
Yeah.
I've told a lot of y'all, I haven't got to really tell my story. I've been a business owner for many years. And being everything by the government. Now, I'm not your mainstream ordained minister. I'm not fake. I won't pretend to be something that I'm not. Hard-working individual like each here, these other truck drivers, and these people have worked their asses off all their. But when I was ordained, I saw a vision. I was standing in a courtroom, and I was in judgment. And I looked over, and he was standing there. He was the accuser. Now I was sitting there waiting for him to lay all my sins out before God. But he didn't. And when I looked at him, he has that face that was just shifting like it could be anybody. And as I was watching him, he rubbed on me, he looked up sideways, and he said, "Father, I told them everything I was doing to them. Like they didn't understand you." And at that very instant, he like disappeared. Deniability. Then I looked down and I saw blood dripping. And I said, from. I haven't killed anybody. He said, no, you haven't. But it's what you have allowed to happen. And then he showed me everybody around the world throughout time that's been under that same blood on everybody's hands. I walk away around every day seeing it. And I'm sick of seeing it. That's the reason why I'm here right now. Because I don't want to see that blood on my hands anymore. And I said, Father, I don't understand this. He said, well, I give each and every one of you power and authority to represent you. Go out and do these things in all our names. And I'm telling you right now, right here, it's time for it to. So I'm asking everybody out there that can hear my voice, stand! Wake up! Stand! Stand in interstate capitals! Now I'm going to end this with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Use our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom forever. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen.
So we got an and for God here. Here we go.
Because there's one more thing. See this? There's a stone in there. It's not very windy. Just saying. If anybody feels led to donate, feel free to walk up and put it in the top. There's a nice little slit up there. The money fits right in there, and it'll be used for good use. That's my one more thing, y'all. Have a good night. We'll refuel vehicles tomorrow morning, but be at the meeting at 8 a.m.
Now tonight, before you all leave, if you guys are interested, over in the other corner over here is the convention. The end of that. And one more thing that I continue to forget to do. I need to pay back some of those who helped the convoy while they were in town. Everybody loved that big American flag that hung up there. I want to personally thank Ed from Wreckers and Wrenches, Dave with D&D Towing, and Digging and Rigging for the flag and the use of it. I thank you guys for coming out tonight. I love come back in here. Give a big shout out to two of my friends, Jeremy Moser. Miss you, brother. Looking forward to maybe seeing my buddy Jimmy Fletcher. We got to end one more thing too.
Anybody want a convoy tomorrow? Yeah! All right, it's not going to be the real one. But if you want a convoy tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to have a meeting. We're not going into downtown, that's not what I'm saying, but if you guys want to get out and do some things, we can't go in yet. I haven't made the logistics yet, but we'll go do a little convoy tomorrow, maybe show them that we're back. All right? So anyway, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Thank y'all. Have a great evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Look, it out on your tree.
Go right ahead.
Dinner. It out. I'm almost to 1,000. I want to get 1,000 before the end of the week, so I can beat Paul Revere in getting 1,000 first. For a week because it took him a week, so I want to get it before a week.
All right, and that's Dinner Bell YouTube. Y'all go follow him. On yours.
Yeah, what's
No. I am Black.
Blue shirt.
So, Black Wolf is spelled just like Black Wolf, only the O has the 2 dots above the O. Remember that, okay? Just like what's on my door.
Okay, I'm just gonna go and when I stream next time, I'm just gonna
Take a picture of Black Wolf exactly the way it is on this door.
Come and join the convoy so you can start rating him with questions.
Oh yeah.
We'll go over to his channel and rate him.
All right.
Let's go, boys. That would have been entertaining.
Now, I do have a lot of other people that are on this channel watching. The problem is most of them actually watch the other live streamers. And other people are not live streaming.
Right in the neighborly. Let me get into the top.
But share me out. Share me out. My battery's gonna be dying on me here real soon, so I gotta end this out, and we'll see you all tomorrow.